Get your ugly Christmas sweaters together because it's about to get real. Now hold on now. Y'all, first off, the color coordination, we have nailed.
Yeah.
Like, the fact that we have an exact, like, we got a blue, we got a red, we got a black. Okay, ready?
Well, yeah, I mean, I don't have a black.
How dare you? John.
I'm just saying, I got bears.
Dang.
You got a llama?
Happy
I got bears
Hanukkah.
on mine.
That's what's up.
I mean, the fact
Chaim.
that we both have llamas, but I was talking to Ange and I was like, you know what seems wildly underrepresented in the ugly Christmas sweater sphere is exactly that. It's always ugly Christmas sweaters. Well, how about Hanukkah?
That's true.
How about ugly Hanukkah sweaters? I wonder what the Hebrew word for sweater is.
I don't know. And I don't even have because I have literally no clue.
I'm going to find it. I'm going to find the word. Hey, guys, anyone who's watching, we're going to find, if you could just leave in the comments below.
You comment below.
The Hebrew translation of.
Go. Yeah, I don't think they had that in the 10 Commandments. I've watched it a lot.
Wear an ugly sweater for Hanukkah.
Right.
Quick little asterisk on the bottom.
This is about representation.
Are yours as comfortable? Like mine, maybe.
Mine's is hella comfy.
Right?
Hella comfy.
I haven't rocked this in a while. I'm like, I should rock this more often.
I've been rocking this for the last hour since I bought it.
My favorite thing about this is the llama has its own little scarf.
Yo, this is the highlight of the episode, hands down. I don't care what conversation comes after this.
No, that's it.
That's it. Your llama has a scarf on your Christmas sweater.
Just in case it gets a little chilly.
Dude,
extra time.
This makes me so happy. Also, not to mention, I didn't get the llama sweater that had a beverage holder. It had a flask holder. And I was like, oh, that's great. And then I saw this one and was like, no, I'm gonna get this one.
Wait, when did llamas become a thing? I didn't know llamas were like the thing.
Real life unicorn.
Okay.
Huh.
Like I called it probably like 5 years ago. I was like, llamas is gonna be a big thing, and we see them everywhere now.
I literally it said Happy Lamaka and Yamaka, and I was in. I was like,
listen, you trusted your gut, like our episode. If you guys want to check that out here on Part of Love, we talk about trusting your gut. And somewhere in here. But the fact that you got this is gonna get deep. No, I'm gonna do it. The fact that you got a llama shirt and he has one too, sweater, excuse me.
Thank you.
That's
jumper.
It came from listening to the inside.
It did. And with regards to because actually, though we are filming this a little bit early, Angelina and I have a game night coming up, and it is a very big special one. And I wanted to get her, a Christmas something, and she also requested it. So I went with my gut, and I got 7 things. And so tune in to game night to see what she chooses. Also, it's going to be an incredible game night. Like, I'm very excited. Yeah, I'm excited about the topic for today. I'm not going to lie. Ange helped me like kind of put it into words because I was talking about something around this topic and she brought it up. But I think that a lot of times the stress of the holidays tends to be put on women. It tends to be like, go get the gifts, go do the thing. You're cooking the meals, you're doing these things. And I wanted to know whether or not that was your experience, but also if you feel any stress around the holidays, or if you have experienced that, like, this is a jumping off point. Like, what do the holidays bring up, good and bad for you? You know what I mean? Like, where does that take us? Because I think it's silly to pretend like it doesn't take us anywhere other than just being like, cool, ugly sweaters and fun and friends. Like, it goes all over the map. And I think that bringing that up and talking about it is a necessary thing. So feel free.
Brandon, you want to go first this time?
Sure, I'll go. I'll go since you want to make such a generalized statement like that, Cole.
Do what I can.
This may be is this episode 4? Episode 4 may be the one where we got here a little quicker than last season, where we can disagree on something.
Yeah.
So by default, I saw a woman do the shopping and because there was no man in my house.
Right.
That was by default. But the families around me that had 2 parents households, dad is hanging lights, dad is shopping, dad is Santa Claus. Dad is everything during the holidays. He's putting up the tree, he's doing this, he's wrapping gifts, mom's kind of like secret agent distracto. Like, I got to keep the kids distracted while dad is like doing all of the things. Like, honey, did you get the right gift? Here's the list. Johnny wants this. Sarah wants that. Like, that was my experience when I saw. And even as of recently, when I say recent, like 10 years ago, there's a family, the Winklers, that I spent my first, Mom, I love you if you watch this. I'm not saying we didn't have traditional Christmases, but they had like your Hallmark, like grandpa reads the night before Christmas and a big chair Christmas. Like, they had that.
Wow.
Like, the fireplace is roaring. Like, it's like, is this real? And I also thought, is this what white people live like? Like, that's what ran through my head. I was like, this is a fairy tale. And why does everything smell like gingerbread and peppermint? And now I want to go ice skating? I've never skied before. I want to ski. Why is my voice doing this? Oh my God, it's happening. Like, exactly. Merry Christmas, everybody. Merry Christmas, Mary. Like, so anyway, so he was the first man that I saw who literally, I mean, listen, Michelle does an amazing job during holidays, but she does a lot of the cooking. She does a lot of like these things, but shopping, different things like that, I helped Mike put up lights. All of those things were put on him. So I always wanted to help alleviate his stress during the holiday season. So for the men out there, my camera's over here. For the men out there, because I keep looking at the Zoom.
Yeah, that's why it's right.
For the men out there, I get you. I feel you. The stress is on you.
John? No, it's so interesting to me. I can't wait to talk about this.
Yeah. I had it interesting as Brandon. I grew up with a single mom. I mean, my dad was someone in the picture, but from a phone, as I've explained in the past. And so he would send like gifts and stuff like that. But my mom was the one who set up Christmas tree and she did a big nativity. I mean, my mom, I don't know if I've ever shown you guys her picture. Her nativity literally hits the ceiling. It's literally a mountain that she does. And it's like, I've had friends who literally want to come over the holidays just to see what she does, because she'll do a whole Christmas village on the bottom and then all the animals and everyone coming to the top of the little nativity scene. And so it's a big thing. And my mom loves holidays. And I think I've mentioned in the past, my mom's like a student registrator. And so she would see all these people coming through the school system, and almost every holiday, my mom would invite one family who wasn't going to do Christmas because they either couldn't afford it or just didn't have anything or just new to America. And we would give them gifts and we would have them join in the family. So I grew up with my mom doing these big table dinners, and not only our family, but another family or some friends would always come along. So that way no one was ever alone on the holidays. And so I similar where my mom did a lot of that, but she also had my brother and I, and then afterwards my stepdad, where we got involved and we helped do all the Christmas decorations, and my mom gets very festive and stuff like that. So it was rad growing up in that. And I always still get excited about Christmas. I try to do a Christmas tree every year, try to do all those little things where I can and continue those traditions that my mom would do.
Well, I think that I'm super interested in the way that you present it, Brandon. It's interesting because this is one of those cool things about perspective and frame of reference that comes into play, right? Because all three of us grew up in single parent homes with our moms. Like that was who was doing the majority of the work. Mm-hmm. And I think that and maybe my view is, I guess, tempered in that historical flame, as it were, to a degree, but also I look at like the culture that I've married into of Italian Americans and that kind of Catholic situation of, yes, the man hangs the lights and does some of the work of, okay, I'm going to hang the lights and I'm going to, put the tree up, but the decorating, the things that are traditionally female, the decorating, the cooking, the cleaning, the shopping, those things, at least in my experience, have always been put off onto the woman. It's like, it's almost as if, I think a lot of times I've watched men do the things that are traditionally masculine and say, yeah, now go do that. Like, okay, I did my thing. Now you go do your thing. And it's been interesting to see that just in a general sense of, just assigned roles, as it were, traditionally, assigned roles. But it's way more interesting to hear that you had an experience where you felt like the man was doing everything.
Mm-hmm.
That's nothing. I've never encountered that. I've seen everything that I've seen of that. I've seen obviously sharing the responsibilities,
Sure,
which is very rare, which is fortunately why I think, we very rarely see relationships in general that are those, oh my God, we look up to those things in those relationships. But that's like such a neat viewpoint. I've never even thought of it that way. And for us to all have such similar backgrounds, and then to have such wildly different experiences in how we view it now, that's crazy. I love that.
Well, I mean, he go ahead, John.
Well, I was just going to agree with Brandon. I think that the whole role of the dad or the oldest sibling plays Santa Claus. And I think that trickles with other kind of responsibilities, because like every year I feel like I'm the one who goes and makes a point to get the Christmas tree. I don't necessarily have to be the one who has to decorate it by myself or anything, or like be the one who's doing the main decorating, but it's just like I get the Christmas tree, I bring that into the house, I get all the Christmas ornaments out of the garage. Like there's certain things I feel like have, I don't know if I wouldn't call them gender roles necessarily, but I think there's certain parts that trickle down from that original, like the father figure is the plays the role, Santa Claus bringing the gifts and everything.
I get that.
Sorry, Brandon, what were you gonna say?
No. What I was gonna say is the reason I really enjoy Mike Winkler, because he showed me something that I hadn't seen a lot of men do. He's a man that will really take on any task that's in front of him, and is not afraid to kind of share the responsibilities, whether it's cooking, whether it's building something, whether it's taking whatever it is. But he's also like a man's man. He's like 6'2". He's like built wise. It looks like a man, and does the whole dad bit. He does the whole like, if you hurt my daughter, I'll fucking kill you kind of thing. And you believe it because he has ice cold blue eyes, but is the warmest man you've ever met. But when he does that, I don't think there's anyone that is like not feeling some kind of way. But so there's a lot in him that I really look at as a good framework, because I had proximity to him and a relationship to him that I didn't have with my biological father, that I could start to really pick apart and look at things that I really would aspire to. All I had with my dad in my database was what I didn't want to be. I didn't have a lot to pull from what I wanted to be. So with him, I had a lot of examples of what I wanted to be and wanted to become, to where, it became this whole pop son thing. Hey son, grab me a beer from the fridge. Done deal. Like, we're going to go to a baseball game. Done deal. Like, these are things that we ended up kind of creating and cultivating, so much so that on Christmas Day, I think he was up before everybody putting out the gifts. I distinctly remember him being like very tired, and I distinctly remember him like being up before everyone. And then like, I remember Michelle and the kids and all of us getting up, and then us going out there. And I can remember kind of like he was finishing up something. And I was like, man, he's like really doing he's doing a lot to make sure everyone's having a good Christmas, like a good experience. Like, I want to make sure everyone's smiling and happy. And so he wasn't expecting a gift from me and my best friend, who we spent one of my first Christmases in LA with them. We went to Walmart at like 2:30 in the morning, because we're like, what the fuck do we get this guy? Like, what do you get a man First of all, in the comments, please talk about the gifts you get for men, because socks and underwear after 25 and ties, guys, like there's other gifts out there.
Mhm.
But you start to go to the staples of, well, he could use some socks, he could use this, he could use a new belt. Like you go to the staples or a new wallet. But my best friend and I, like, what do you get like a 40, 50 something year old man? So we got him this like 100-year anniversary of the NFL or something like that. And it was like every major player, every major coach, every major play in the history of the NFL. And then we signed the inside of it. And we wrapped it and we put it under the tree in the back to where he wouldn't know it was there. So everyone had opened their gifts, and he's doing the dad thing. He's like picking up all the wrapping paper and he's putting it in the trash bag. And all right, guys, enjoy your gifts. And he said, well, hey, wait a minute. Santa brought one more gift. Santa brought a gift. He's like, what are you talking about? So we go to the back of the tree. We grab the book out. We hand him the book. He opens it. He reads the inside and he's like, oh, I got something in my eye. I got to go to the kitchen. And Michelle's like, guys, you made him cry. He never cries. You made him cry. And you could see like all of the, the joy of the giving was fulfillment for him. But I think it was the unexpected of receiving that also hit him in a long-winded way. That's why I really appreciated seeing him do Christmas the way he did over the years, because he really, Michelle loves it too. Michelle gets the movies going. She's kind of like, we're going to go ice skating. Like she's more of like the events, like what events are we doing? Building gingerbread houses? Cool. But that was the example that they really were able to kind of set from the outside of what I grew up with.
I mean, I think there's a lot of really beautiful stuff that you talk about with that family specifically.
Mm-hmm.
And I hope that whether it's here at the Refinery or through Part of Love or through New Age Gents or through any of the, proxies that we all have for giving love and those things, like that goal is to create more of those families. But I think that a generation of us that all grew, or that very many of us grew up without fathers in the home.
Yeah.
There are tropes in movies, and that's the one way that, you can kind of see what's happening in a society from time to time, because the tropes that are built into movies are what's recognizable by a large swath of people, right? And the trope of what I was talking about before is what I feel hopefully should be addressed, and hopefully it and apparently is being addressed by certain families, is that thing of, well, dad does the things that he has to do. And how many families outside of the holidays, then the dad just does, well, I do what I have to do. It's these things. Okay, this is on the list, but what about all those other things? And then you get the Winklers that are apparently that are fucking killing the game. Like that's amazing. And then we all had moms that were killing the game in their own ways, trying to make things as special as they could and fighting so hard to do that. And I know I've told stories on here last week. Like I loved Christmas. I still love Christmas, and now I have an incredible wife that does that. But I will say, like, there are certain things I cannot wrap a gift to save I don't know how to wrap a gift. I don't understand it conceptually. When she taught me about gift bags, I was like, I'm gonna marry you again. Like it was just so good. So separately though from that, you actually touched on something that was one of the things that I want to talk about, which is giving gifts. You said, how do I, what kind of gift do you get for a man? Right. And, at the end of the day, obviously it comes down to who is that man. That has everything to do with it. But I think that there is a thing for a lot of guys of giving gifts, like as we were jokingly saying right before this started, like guy on guy gift giving, like it's like a really weird thing to just be like, I was thinking about you and I saw this and I just thought I'd make you happy, like whatever. You know what I mean? Like It's such a weird thing. So have you ever encountered that, or do you feel that at all? And if so, how do you get past it? I'm going to open up because I don't feel that. I have watched it happen. I have watched people, some of my best friends, just have a really hard time being like, I love you. And then like something will happen, like a big life altering event. And all of a sudden they're like, hey man, I love you. I love you. It's just so great. And the same thing I think happens with this gift giving. We think about giving to our family and to certain friends, but when it comes to some of our guy friends, we were just like, no, just what's up? Have a good day. And I've encountered a lot of friends where I end up giving or texting or writing things, and they're like, I've just never had that happen. And it's a strange thing to see to me, because I just don't see it that way. And I don't think, I'm guessing you guys don't either. But again, who knows? And I'm interested to see what you think about that. Have you encountered that? Do you have friends that are weird about that? All that stuff.
Yeah, I think I'm used to it. I'm fine like telling guys that I've known for a while and care about, like, love you dude, love you bro, and giving gifts and stuff like that. But I think the weirdest is the ones when in the back end. They're the ones when they get weird about it, then I kind of get weird about it, because I'm just like, yo, I care about you, just wanted to get you something, and then I feel like I'm being weird, and it becomes this weird back and forth.
It becomes the back and forth.
But I think it's I think a lot of men grew up not with that comfortability of sharing that. And so I don't think a lot of men saw it as an example of what that looks like. And I know I didn't grow up with that very much. I didn't grow up with friends saying it. It wasn't until I got older and especially when I came to LA, where I feel LA is a little more open, like bursting and vulnerability and stuff like that, that you can have these conversations and it's not weird. Like I have a couple of guy friends that we're comfortable talking about anything. So it's not weird getting each other gifts. And it's almost like we know it's coming out of a place of love. But I think it took examples to really take it in and really understand, like, oh, okay, so you can like get a gift for a friend and show. And actually, I was just talking to a friend over the weekend about gift giving, because I feel like that's become like a lost art, in a sense of like, how do you get a real, genuine, good gift? And she was just giving me examples of what gifts she's gotten for friends for Christmas this year. And I'm like, yo, you're like golden at this. And so she's like, one of the things she was saying is like, write down a list of who that person is. And then literally like next to it, just come up with ideas. And so I was like doing it for a friend where it's just like, I randomly like, oh, avocado. And she was just like, easy. Like there's so many things that are avocado themed. You can just find something there. Like all these it's just writing down who that person is, kind of like you're saying, get an idea of who they are, and then go from there, rather than trying to find a gift that fits them, understand them, and the gift will show up.
Yeah. I love that.
I have a okay, so let me backtrack. When I was younger, it was weird. It wasn't a thing. It was just growing up period. Guys didn't get guys gifts. I'm trying to think about older men who might have been like trying to give gifts.
I mean, the one thing the one with that, yeah, it's true that an example, alcohol was one thing I grew up. Guys would give it to each other.
Oh yeah.
Here's some scotch, here's some vodka, here's some tequila. Yeah. It's an easy out. It's an easy yeah. And even with women, they'll give you that. Like if they don't know what to get you, it's like, well, Brandon likes whiskey. Done. Also, I'm not opposed if you want.
Yeah, no.
Nothing.
You need an address to send whiskey to. Like,
yeah, I will put in the comments below. I'm not opposed to it. I like it a lot. But if you want to like get something that is it's a good plug there. It's a great plug.
Just sitting there, Christmas
like
just.
I was so jealous when Ange handed you the bullet. I was like, I want a woman like that. Just hand me bullets, just from anywhere, just like and
just
a whole thing of bullet.
I would just come in.
Yeah, it was like the best thing in the world.
Yeah.
Anyway, it is a love language. We're getting off topic. It's the holidays.
It's the holidays.
This is cuffing season. This is when you get booed up and you're like, you know what? I'm gonna get gifts. We're gonna talk about this.
I'm gonna use that one. I'm gonna use that in the next millennial lingo. Just gonna have no clue. Great.
But you do know what cuffing season is, right?
Yeah, no, cuffing season was, I think, part of one of the episodes.
Beautiful.
Where
Beautiful.
same as the turkey drop.
Yes.
That one.
I tried to avoid cuffing season this go round. I didn't go out hunting. I wasn't out there looking for my whiskey rabbits. I wasn't looking for them this season. I tried to stay.
You're writing notes on all the
I tried to stay away. I was like, let me be smart. This go
Pretty
around.
good job.
Huh?
You did a pretty good job. Like, overall. Also, you did fall in love with a horse. Smoking.
The slow play on it. You said that.
It wasn't slow play because something ran through my head and I was like, don't you dare say that out loud on here. What? What, Colt? Oh, God, bro code. Jesus.
Oh God. What were we saying? You were saying it's my cuffing season.
Those came from something. I can't even remember. I'm not even drinking, which is wild. I think it's because it's daytime. We have more energy.
Yes.
So we're just wound up. We're just getting it all out, getting all the what they call the yayas and jujus and so let me backtrack here. Where did I leave off my thought? Because I can't remember. Gifts, buying gifts. Yes, go back. There we go. As a kid, not a gift. No gifts given. Agreeing with John. Yes, men got gifts. Men got other men alcohol, wine, whatever, a cigar, even. And then I would say, I have a friend, Michael, who is really good at giving gifts and not afraid to show affection. And so he is very thoughtful, kind of like your friend you're talking about, John, very thoughtful in, I know this person. So whatever phase of my life I'm in, he gets me a gift according to that, right? So it could be a pair of dress shoes, wingtip. It could be a leather made bag. It could be a keychain. It could be something for my dogs. It could be, and I mean, every year for my birthday and Christmas, without fail, he gets a gift. And if he doesn't do a gift, he does a handwritten card. He got me 2 or 3 Christmases ago. He found me this, I'll call it a Swiss Army hammer. And so the top is a hammer, but the hammer turns into a wrench. And in the handle of the wrench, there's 4 different tools. And I was like, this is incredible. This is absolutely magic.
There's so many activities.
I take that damn thing everywhere because who wants to carry a tool bag around all the time? So it's just like having a pocket knife. I think I have got it on me now. It's just like this. By the way, guys, be careful. Don't give it to kids. But I have my pocket knife on me at all times. Okay. For any particular reason, any particular case. Right. But these are all things that I think if you put thought into and you can help create an atmosphere where receiving is okay. So I would be very reluctant and weird when he would give me the gift. Because then I would also feel like an obligation that, damn, well, I didn't get you anything. And he's like, it's not about you giving me anything. I really enjoy gift giving. And the gift is you receiving. The gift is you enjoying and knowing that I gave you something that lights your heart up, makes you happy. This one pair of shoes he got me last year, we were at dinner. He pulled them out for Christmas. They were these suede Timberland, low top dress shoes. And I get compliments on those damn things more than any other dress shoe I own. And I tell him whenever I get a compliment, I text him and said, yo, those dress shoes you got me, they were on point. They were to a T. So it takes someone who's willing to be that person, kind of like a Colt or a John or myself now, to help someone who has a hard time receiving understand that you're worthy of, and it's okay to receive.
Mm-hmm. That's why I wanted us to talk about it. I wanted us to discuss these things. And I mean, that's why we talk about everything on the channel, right? We talk about it so that people have that permission, have that belief. It's an interesting thing to, she just left. I got her the fucking dopest gift today. And it was really funny because Brandon, you were like, you had said something in a text and you were like, hey, pay attention. And I was like, man, this man needs to get out of my fucking head. I already knew what I was supposed to pay attention to today because I was already going to do it.
Wow.
And then it happened to come along in a different way. And I was like, I should send him a text. But I knew I was going to talk to you, so I just figured I'd do it here. But I ran back in the house, like I took off, and then I was 5 minutes away, and I turned the Jeep around, came back because I was like, nope. And I grabbed the GoPro because we have a mount for it now, and I put it up, and I was like, I'm gonna make a video about this. I'm gonna make a video about what and why, and we're going to have, and that's exactly what it was. I was like, oh, and I heard you the whole time being like, there's a reason that you're doing this today, separately from the reason that you're doing this. And it was exactly that, which is, I wanted to break down what and why, right? And give that, and I'm literally in my Carhartts. I'm literally in my duck quilted, like Carhartts in my hoodie. And I think this hat, and just driving along through, unpaved back roads in the snow. And I was like, somebody's going to see this and have no clue, like, who I am or who y'all are. Like, they're going to see this though and know, oh, it's cool. It's okay. It's okay. It's okay to go out of your way to take. That's why I told you, I was like, I love you. It is, I'm gonna be in the car for about 4 hours today, but I have to do this. And I'm sorry, but I have to do this. And it's such a nice thing. And I'm really happy that we're talking about that overall concept of just, had you not seen Mike, is it Winkler? Mike Winkler do that, you may not have turned out the same way that you did.
Right.
You may not have, without that permission of in that frame of reference of seeing that and going, oh, I can put up the lights. I can go get the presents. I can cook dinner. I can wrap the gifts. I can put them under the tree. I can get the tree. I can decorate the tree. I can do all of this. And I can share that with my partner. And I can still be a loving, like, full-hearted, full, complete person without any labels or any of that. And then get a gift and still have a hard time receiving it. Like, you can be all of those things and it's all okay. Had you not had that though, had you not had that demonstrated, I think it was when, for me, my dad, and we didn't talk for a long time. And when we did, when we started to reconnect, he kept saying, I need an address. I need to send you something. I need to send you something. Okay. Okay. I'll send it soon. And a few years later, I finally gave it to him. And because I was moving anyway most of the time, y'all know. And I gave him an address and I said, okay, I'm going to be here for a little bit. Send me my first Christmas present in a long time. And it was a book. And if you are new here, my dad was a Marine, Parris Island Marine, who then went into SWAT and the police force with the Atlanta Police Department and is a bad motherfucker. And he sent me a book of poetry. It's right back here. It's called Songs of Sweetwater, book 5, because he's a published poet also. And he wrote some of the most beautiful poetry I have read. Like, I connect with it in such a visceral place. But until I had that, there was so much of myself that I didn't understand, because I had been trying to square how I was such an artistic person just by my nature. Hey, baby girl, can you get off? Go to bed. How I had embraced the artistic side of myself, but didn't feel like a man. Meanwhile, he was this man among men and didn't really, I didn't know that he had the creative side. And I think the reason I'm most excited that we're having this conversation, that this episode is kind of lighting me up in a certain way, is so much because of that. It's seeing things modeled gives you that permission, right? And so last week we talked about give the gift of belief. I push us to give another gift this week of permission, right? Let's show through our actions, not to the people that already are ready to accept it. It's easy. It's easy for us to look at our friends who are already great gift givers and to give them a gift. It's hard. What Michael did for you is the hard thing. That's the beautiful thing, right?
Yeah.
It's not, and you giving a gift back to him is beautiful and special, but it's going to be very different than him doing that for you, who couldn't even accept it, who didn't know how to accept it, and felt like you had to give something back. I don't know. There's something there that I really dig. This is that turning point for me, like the tipping point, as it were, of going, oh, okay, cup's overflowing. I like this. I dig it. And this one's empty.
I told you though, I said, listen, man, your dad is becoming a very great theme in these conversations we have. Mm-hmm. And I'm almost like, I would be remiss if I didn't look at, when people look at their journey, they're like, I wish it was different. I wish he was around. Or I wish this and this and this. I'm like, you may, like you said, you may not be who you are now if you had the thing you were wishing for. Like, how impactful would this book of poetry be? How impactful would it be for that 1 minute phone call saying, hey, just call and say, hi, son, I don't want anything from you. Like, how would they still have the same value that they do now? And would you be the accepting, permission giving to yourself man that you are today? And not also, I want to address this because I said something to Ange at the end of our last call. Mm-hmm. And I thought about it. So sorry, John, because it's getting a little long-winded, but I said this and I thought about what I said after. I said, you got yourself a country boy. Mm-hmm. But what I forgot to mention was and.
Yeah,
that's what I forgot to mention. Because it's easy. And we were talking about this, how sometimes you can like have a conversation, you're like, and you slip into this thing, and it's just like, oh, well, you know, because we're from the South, we're from the country, right? And you're like, yeah. And you're like, wait, I don't identify solely as, I don't have to form to this because I am that, but I am also all these other things. So I wanted to acknowledge that you have country aspects in your heritage, where you grew up was familiar to you, the food, the smells, the taste, the accent that comes out, like all of that is a part of you. But then you are also Broadway. You are also very loving and very kind and a great listener. Like, you are also these other parts of you. And the farm does not define you that you want one day. The ranch you want does not define you one day, right? What defines Colt Prattes is his heart and his character. So I wanted to say that to you because that's something you and I identify with, right? We both are just like, put me outdoors somewhere. Give me a back porch and a fucking rocking chair and some whiskey, and I'm a happy man. But also, if Cats came on,
probably gonna watch it, especially
gonna watch,
especially this new movie. Oh my god, I got something to send you. I got something to send you guys, and oh god. But I get what you're saying. Maybe Hamilton, but regardless, yes. maybe like There Will Be Blood. But the point is,
yeah, that you can be that. And
yeah, it's been a really, really cool thing to experience that that relationship, and it definitely is having such a large impact on me because, you know, you realize, oh, there are so many things that even time and the lack of a relationship within that time notwithstanding, I still turned out to be like, there's something to be said for genetics in this weird way of like, with all of that, I had no clue who you were, and I turned out
to be
very similar
to you.
But
yes,
it was the goal, his goal, you know, again, and the goal that I hope for my children, and I'm sure all of us do, is that they're better than us, right?
Yeah,
it's the only goal. Why else have? I don't even understand what else you would want, right, other than to hopefully impart what you can, and then go forth, go be better. Yeah. And I am proud to say that, not across the board, I can't, you know, father or not, like he's still a human being that I will never know entirely. He's another person. So I would never say that I'm better than him, but I like that the mistakes that we have discussed that he made that I don't make. That makes me proud. That's a gift in and of itself. That recognition. It's been interesting.
Jon.
Yeah, please throw in.
Yeah, I want to tap in on what one of you two mentioned. Even writing a handwritten card, I think sometimes it's something that I've early in the year I was like, I want to put effort into sending cards, it's the least I can do, and it's easy, and it's surprising with how many people call me up and are just like, whoa. Like I had a couple people this year were just like, this is the only birthday card I got, and which is one of the reasons I wanted to bring it back, because I think it's just as much as like a handwritten note or a thank you card, it's taking the time to write a personalized message to that person. And it's even I had a friend who also a couple weeks ago chimed in on the idea of also just going to like CVS, and now everything's digital photo wise, but you can go to CVS and you can print a photo, and to print a photo and put it inside the card and send that out. I'm like, hey, just thinking of you, wishing you happy birthday or happy holidays. This photo just reminded me of a great time that we shared together, and I'm just very grateful for you. And something as simple as that can bring someone back to a special moment, and at the same time tie it into this special moment. And it's powerful. Like the power of thank you cards over the years, how much that's been like integral into relationships I've had, both professional and personal, but also just birthday cards. And I don't ever do it with the expectation of getting anything back. I do it because I was almost like, I remember last year, I think I got like 2 or 3, and I was like, oh man, I wish I could have gotten more, but I'm like, I'm just going to do it because it's something I wish I had from me. I'm sure other people would want it too. And so I just sent birthday cards all throughout the year. I'd find out whether it be through Facebook or seeing them post on Instagram or whatever it was. And even if it was a week late, I made sure to still send a card. And I used to tell people, hey, sorry, this is a week late, but in reality, I'm just extending your birthday a little longer. And it always brought a smile to people's faces. And it's the simplest little thing, even down to postcards. Like when I travel, I try to send at least 2 or 3 postcards to whether it be family or friends, just being like, hey, I'm in this spot, was in the woods, thought of you, wanted to send you a postcard from Utah or something like that. And those little touches, it's surprising how many people, I can tell, really, really appreciate it. And especially those who have a hard time giving a gift, like a card counts. A card can be a perfect time. And like my aunt always taught me, because my aunt always was just like, you're gonna get your gift within the next 3 months. And it's just like, so she never got us gifts on our our birthday or on Christmas. Well, Christmas it would be there, but birthdays was also 3 months, because she's the person that's like, your birthday's a whole month, and so I'm gonna get to you later because I want a month or 2 later for you to still be celebrated. And remember, you celebrated more than just one day. You could be celebrated throughout the year. And I always love that. And it's the whole idea of whether it be getting someone just a gift for getting them a gift, or if you miss someone's birthday, like there's nothing wrong with sending them a belated birthday card or a belated gift, or even just sending a half birthday, whatever it is. Like the idea is not about, and I think what Christmas, I was talking to a friend about this the other day, that it's like corporations kind of made this whole thing that like you have to give gifts so you can get gifts back. If you want stuff, you have to give first.
It's reciprocity.
Yeah, which is not like, and it got abused, because the whole idea isn't giving to get something in return. The idea is giving a sentiment of like, hey, this reminded me of you. I'm grateful for you. And I just wanted to share something with you, whether it be something handmade, whether it be a card, whether it be purchasing something. And it's not necessarily, I think like with Black Friday and Cyber Monday and all these things about buying, corporations forcing almost buying, it put a bad taste in a lot of people's mouth about buying gifts. And I've seen like a lot less gifts over the years, which is totally fine. I mean, whatever the reasons are. But I think if we go back to the idea of why we're giving that gift, are we giving this gift because we have some expectation out of it? Are we giving this gift because we want something in the end? Or are we giving this gift because simply we want to brighten someone else's day up? We want to make that person feel special. And I think it's such a simple way to just brighten someone's day.
100%. I really like that. I want to challenge one part of it, which
Please.
is, because I never get to do this. This is always Brandon's. Yeah, I see you over there.
Do it.
is the concept of gift giving died off because of the kind of intrinsically capitalist nature of our society? Or are those two things not, I mean, because I think of everything always happens after the holiday, right? Black Friday, Cyber Monday, those things, they happen after the gifts have been given. And most of that is people then going in and going, oh, I can get this 60-inch flat screen for $300 off. And it becomes something almost like the exciting thing about it. And I remember because I had a stepdad who we camped out overnight outside of a Walmart to go fight for like a blender he wanted and a TV we couldn't afford. You know what I mean? Like craziness. That said, I think that perhaps in the midst of it, of the capitalism and the, you know, kind of consumerism that's overtaken everything, that maybe we got lost in a little bit of selfishness and forgot about that other part. Not even about receiving so much as giving to myself because I deserve it. There's a lot of that, which is interesting. We also come from these homes where the women weren't doing that. I know when my mom was single, and Mom, I know you're watching this, but I know when my mom was single, like those were my favorite Christmases because that was just, I mean, obviously I was a kid and like she just went in. And I remember I got my first like Boys to Men tape because there were things called tapes. You guys are both young, so you don't know about these things, but they were called tapes.
Are you trying to play me? Who are you trying to play? Who are you trying to play? A listener?
Both of you are too young. Who knows?
Whoa, hold on. Rewind.
I think you're only a couple of years younger. John, I don't even know how old you are, John. You just had a birthday. I assume you turned 16? Because I saw you had a mustache. So
you trying to play us on Refinery. That's the gift of trying to play us. Okay.
It's frame of reference. I'm giving you permission to go buy tapes. Everybody go buy tapes. I don't.
But you gotta have a cassette player.
So he does know about these.
Yes, I used to have a boombox, and I would plug my Walkman headphones in, and I had the same DJ Taz. That's just my baby daddy on repeat. That's it, my baby dad. That's it, my baby dad. That's it, my baby dad.
How dare you?
That's just my baby dad. Brandy, what you listen to, huh? Nothing. That's just my baby dad. Like.
See, that is the tag for the episode. Like that's not the bow, but that is the tag. That's what will be all over social media. Is just you on repeat.
It is a good point though what you bring up, Colt, because I think there is a little bit of that has come in about like what the reason. You're right. I don't think it's necessarily just the capitalistic perspective or like approach to things, but I do think there has been a little more of like, I'm gonna get this for me, which is also nothing wrong, but what is the extent of why we're doing that?
Yes. And I love what you both talked about writing cards. I mean, one of my favorite things, and we talk about it a lot, is just writing notes to each other. When I was touring with Pink, whenever I was on the bus or whenever I was in a venue or whenever I was like between numbers, if I thought of Ange and I wanted to write her, I would just write her a note and be like, hey, I'm under the stage. I'm getting ready to do this number. I miss you. I haven't talked to you and like really, really talked to you in like a week. Like we've caught up a little bit, but I miss you. I love you. Boom. And I had a whole notebook full by by year and a half into it. And I remember not only how great I hoped that would make her feel to know that, but I remember when I looked back at it, because right before our wedding, I gave it to her as one of the wedding gifts. It was this moment of me looking back and going, oh my God, it reminded me of all of those things. It made me feel good. Not that I had done it. It made me feel good that I was entering into this marriage with somebody that I could not stop thinking about, that I needed to write. You know what I mean? I think sometimes when you send a postcard from Germany or fucking I don't know, Shanghai or wherever you are in the world, Dubai, there's something that's that little bit of I want to knock altruism, but like no matter what, we get a little something out of it. Like there's a little bit of love of going like, oh man, they're gonna smile. Like they're gonna smile, and I love that. And that's the beautiful gift that I think would be really special for people to start, for everyone, including us, to remember, right? How do we share that? How do we as a society get back to that? I love you. Come on, just come on in. You're gonna be here.
Well, because you're having a dad moment, and I think a great way to wrap the episode up, if you don't mind, she's in your lap already.
Yeah.
Could you read us a poem from your dad's book?
Ooh, Booger Bear.
That would be your gift. That's your night before Christmas for us and everyone watching.
All right. So, Songs of Sweetwater. Book 5, Poetry Anthology.
Woo! I love that.
And then here's, he wrote me a note inside of it that I keep on the page. So I love this, and I think that this is very apropos for us. This is my favorite of his poems. Fate by Doc Dawkins. The forming of a raindrop as a conception of life, hurtling itself toward earth to caress its new home. The embodiment is transformed, conforming to new environments, the contour of land, determining its fleeting route. The destiny of man, as with the raindrop, determined by life's terrain, in which he's perchance placed. Man's route is as fleeting, fate rarely forgiving, some being quiet and peaceful, others in peril from origin. The journey, for some, a wait for the inevitable, while for a miraculous few, it is but a glorious adventure.
That's beautiful. That whole book is all your dad?
Not the whole thing. It's a collection of poems, and he has about 5 or 6 in here.
Amazing.
Yeah. It's pretty cool. So
that's beautiful.
Merry Christmas, everybody.
Merry Christmas, Merry Christmas.
I haven't read it in a couple of months, so it's nice to. I think about it. I see it back there, and sometimes you forget the impact it can have. So yeah, that is the voice of a man who was a man's man in a traditional sense, and pretty bad in relationships of any sort, but who has worked very hard to overcome his faults to give whatever the best of himself is to the rest of his life and those who are so it's been cool.
Well, I'll say this. This is to him, but this is also to you. Your life is a poem. Every story you've told us, your experiences, what you've been through, who you've been, who you've become, who you strive to be. I can hear, it's like your dad was like writing about you, but didn't know he was writing about you. And now you're living out a very poetic life in a lot of ways.
Yeah, I'm pretty lucky. Not a bad life. Well, I'm lucky to be able to share that life, at least in some small part, with you guys. I'm thankful that I have you guys. I'm thankful that we get to do this and share this, and hopefully this will reach somebody who's whether watching or listening now or in the future, and gives them permission the way that people gave us permission, the way people gave us a frame of reference. Yeah.